3.4. This first question, I'm just going to give you the answer and explain why the answer is. It's not normally how I do it. So the answer is C. So it's just like one of the laws of that Mendel has. But let's just talk quickly what this means. So what he thought, which actually wasn't entirely true, is that all genes are inherited separately. So let's pretend it's the gene for color, yellow is dominant, but on a separate chromosome, maybe is the gene for how tall the plant is. So yeah, like only one of these chromosomes, right, can end up in a gamete because it's haploid. So one will go to one gamete, one will go to the other. The same here. So maybe a gamete inherits both dominant alleles or something like that. But that's what it means. They're inherited separately. What he didn't anticipate, or what he didn't predict, is that genes have more than, or I'm sorry, chromosomes have more than one gene on it. So maybe here, maybe you have the gene that talks about how smooth the seeds are. So these will actually not be inherited separately. They'll travel together. So that actually confused him, and he ended up fudging his data. Anyway, let's not pick on him. All right, let's get into some Punnett squares. So question number 2 says a parent organism of an unknown genotype is mated in a test cross. So there's a key word here, test cross. So test cross means, let me just underline that. Test cross means you're taking an unknown genotype and you're crossing it with a known homozygous recessive. That is the law. Misconception is that students think a test cross is simply a Punnett square. So we have an unknown genotype. So what that means is we know what it looks like, right? Because let's pretend T equals tall and little t is the allele for short. That's supposed to be an S. So if the plant's short, we know the genotype has to be little t, little t. It's only unknown when it's tall because it could be heterozygous or homozygous. So this is a question mark. So if half the offspring are the same as one of the parents, then we know that the parent must be, then we know that one of the offspring or one of the parents must be heterozygous. So here's the homozygous recessive, and let's just look at that. And if this is heterozygous, then we'll know that we'll have a tall plant, because it's dominant, a tall plant, and then we'll have 2 short plants, so it's 50-50. So if half of them are the same as one of the parents, the parent of the unknown genotype, this question mark here, must be heterozygous, a big T and a small t. Let's talk a little bit about sex-linked inheritance. So if you remember, sex-linked is a gene that's carried on the X chromosome only. So for example, a female, if we're looking at color blindness, they're using C, not a big fan of C, but let's just use that. A female could be homozygous dominant. A female could be heterozygous, which we sometimes call a carrier. Or a female could have color blindness, would be homozygous recessive. So this would be the affected ones. Males, however, because it's only on the X chromosome, can have the big C, so you have a healthy male, is not colorblind, or the little c, which means it's colorblind. So here's the 3 female options, here's the 2 male options. Males cannot be ever heterozygous, just that one copy. So it says, which of the following genotypes are possible for men? So let's do a cross. So we know the father is going to be XY, the female is going to be XX. Let's make the female heterozygous, a big C and a little c. We don't have to worry about these 2 boxes because that's the female, right? XX is going to be a female. So let's look at the male because that's what they're asking for. So this X can come down here with its big C and a Y. This X can come down here with its little c and a Y. So a male can only have the big C or the little c. So the correct answer was B.